I think that's what I'm thankful for this year is the fact that Will Campbell did not tear his ACL. And for Drake May, of course.
The third leading scorer in the playoffs. What a season he's had.
Brown goes inside. Oh, what a slam from
the Panthers have a 3rd and 10. Here comes pressure.
So the ball is out in the end zone. And it's Wheeler finds Clark from the logo.
Edelman in motion. Edelman takes the swing pass. Edelman's going to throw. He's knocked it wide open. Amendola. Touchdown.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to our NFL Week 13 picks and predictions. This is going to be a fun week. We have our 3 Thanksgiving games, our 1 on Black Friday, and a full slate of games on Sunday, with 0 teams having a bye this week. Next week, the last 4 teams finish up with their byes, but none this week, so we have full steam ahead. And last week, 4 picks was not too bad for me again. I picked a couple games spot on. I had the Chiefs over the Colts money line, and I had the Cowboys upsetting the Eagles. So, not a bad week. Let's hope we can keep the momentum going with our first game this week, a rematch of Week 1. We had the Packers at the Lions. Now, Week 1, I picked the Packers to win, and they did, but it's really hard to compare Week 1 with now. 2 completely different teams. Different players. The Packers are pretty banged up. The Lions' offense has been sputtering a little bit besides Jahmyr Gibbs, and their defense isn't the best this year either. Packers are a little different. Their defense is pretty solid, but their offense is slow. It's pretty consistent, but not necessarily in a good way. They win most of their games, not very convincingly, and sometimes they lose a game that they shouldn't. And the Lions, they're kind of in a similar boat. They play games a lot closer than you would think, and they've also lost some games that you wouldn't expect either. So these two are fighting it out for the division. The NFC North is extremely competitive right now. You actually have the Bears in first place, and then you have the Packers in second because of their tie and the tiebreaker over the Lions, and the Lions in third. But they're all neck and neck, fighting it out. This is a huge pivotal game, and I think the Lions are going to win. I think their run game is going to be enough to topple the Packers, but I wouldn't be shocked if Micah Parsons can have himself a game and the Lions get away from the run and Love can just take care of the football and move the chains. The Packers can win this one. Now they're playing in Detroit. I just have a feeling the Lions pull this one out. It's just a gut feeling, but I could see it going either way. But I'm really going with the Lions here to even the score. There's just so many of these divisional matchups that these teams split all the time. Like, no matter how bad or how good the Cowboys and the Eagles are, they always seem to split 50-50, and I think the Packers and Lions are going to be the same way. So I'm going with the Lions to edge this one out. So that's our 1 p.m. game. Moving on to our 4 o'clock game, or 4:30, we have the Chiefs at the Cowboys. Chiefs with a clutch must-win game against the Colts last week. Last minute is really cutting it close. And then you have the Cowboys with a comeback win over the Eagles. This is the Cowboys team. They get your hopes up, they win impressively, and then they lose the very next week. And I kind of think that's what's going to happen. I think their defense is going to collapse this week. And Prescott, he might be good this week, he might not be. But their O-line doesn't always do the best against decent pass rushes, which is what the Chiefs have. So who knows? The Cowboys' offense is pretty good. Pickens had a great game. Lamb could have had one if he had caught all those passes. But either way, I think the Chiefs win another must-win game for them and stay alive in the hunt for the playoffs. Next up, we have another potentially good game. We may have 3 very good games this year, which is exciting. We have Joe Burrow returning on the Bengals to face their divisional rival, Baltimore Ravens, in Baltimore. Baltimore's on a winning streak. They're first place in the division. Lamar's starting to look a little better. They're not fully in sync yet, but they are playing winning football, which is important. The Bengals, on the other hand, they just can't catch a break. They really haven't won a lot of games this year. Their O-line's horrible. Their defense is terrible. And now they have T. Higgins out with an injury. So, unfortunately, I think the Bengals don't really have much of a chance. I guess if you have Burrow, you always have a chance. But how rusty will he be? Who knows? I do feel more safe taking the Ravens to win this one, and they will continue their quest to win the AFC North after being down and out for so long this year. Next, we have our Black Friday game. We have the Bears in first place in the NFC North. How long can they hang on to that? We'll see. Going up against the Eagles after an embarrassing loss to the Cowboys. But it didn't really hurt them too badly. I guess in the overall seeding in the NFC it did, but they're going to win the division regardless. So I think the Eagles win this one. I think their defense is going to shut down Caleb Williams. And I think offensively they'll do enough to win the game pretty decisively. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think they handle business and they won't have to sweat it too much. I don't know. The Bears, they're winning games, so shout out to them, but they're just not a dominant team. They're winning games, so that's very important. It's a step in the right direction for sure. But they're not dominating other teams, and they haven't really been good teams this year too much. So I'm going with the Eagles here to get back on the winning side and win in Philly. Next, we have the 49ers at the Browns. Niners overcame some injuries to win pretty easily against the Panthers. And the Browns, they won a game, although it might hurt them in the long run with draft picks. So I'm going with the Niners to win this one. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I think they're just a better overall team, and they win against a bad Cleveland team. Next, we have the Jaguars at the Titans. Jaguars are looking to continue their quest for a wild card spot, maybe give the Colts a run in the division. It's getting a lot closer now, but they're still in the playoff picture either way, and a win against the Titans will keep them there for another week. So Jags should take care of business against the worst record team in the NFL, and if they don't, they have bigger issues to worry about than winning the division. Next, we have what could be an exciting game. The Texans coming off of a huge win when their defense came up big against the Bills. That was amazing. And the Colts coming off of a tough last-minute loss to the Chiefs. Colts looking to hang on the division. They didn't play horrible, but they just did not do enough to win that game. And the Texans, they're feeling it. They got the momentum going. Their offense is playing a little better. Maybe Stroud will be back this week. Who knows? So we'll see what happens here. I really could see the Texans winning, especially the way that their defense plays. If they can rattle Daniel Jones, they could win this one for sure. Wouldn't even surprise me. I am going to go with the Colts here. They're playing at home. I don't think they're a contender, but I do think they pull this one out. I think they're a little more of a consistent team, but I would not be shocked if the Texans won this one, and that would make things very interesting in the division. Next, we have the Saints at the Dolphins. Saints are horrible. Dolphins aren't great, but they have been winning games a little more recently, so I think the Dolphins take this one in Miami, but who really cares about this game? Nobody. Next, we have the Falcons at the Jets. Kind of a similar game. The Falcons should win this one with their run game, kind of like they did last week against the Saints. But who really cares about this game? Nobody. So moving on, we have the Cardinals at the Buccaneers. I almost wanted to say that I think the Buccaneers finally caught a break because they had such a terrible stretch of games going up against the Bills, the Lions, the Patriots, and the Rams back to back to back to back. They're on a really bad losing streak. Lucky for them, they are in a division that's very bad, so they're going to win the division regardless. But I'm a little concerned with Baker. We're not really sure. It's kind of up in the air with his injuries and miscellaneous, whatever he has going on. They should win this one against a pretty bad Cardinals team, so I'm going to go with the Buccaneers to win this one at home. Hopefully, they're going to get back on the right track here. Next, we have the Rams at the Panthers. Rams honestly look like the best team in the NFL, and I think they are going to continue their winning against the Panthers, really no problem. Defense will shut down the Panthers, offense will light it up, and I think they move right along, not just first place in the division, but first place in the NFC this year, and a potential Super Bowl winning team. We'll see what happens though. Next we have the Vikings at the Seahawks. Vikings are not good at all this year, and the Seahawks, they are very good. So I think the Seahawks take this one at home. Not too much else to be said about it. I think they win this one, keep making their push for the playoffs here. Next, we have the Bills at the Steelers. Steelers put up a good fight last week against the Bears. Even without Rodgers, it didn't make a huge difference. Mason Rudolph played fairly decent, but they just couldn't hang on at the end. Buffalo coming off of a really bad loss. The AFC East is almost out of reach for the Bills. They need a lot of things to go right for them and a lot of things to go wrong for the Patriots. It's not looking good. I really don't think they have a shot at the division, but they at least need to win some more games this year. I think they do against the Steelers. I think they get back into the winning column here. Although I said that last week, so we'll see what happens, but I really do think they beat the Steelers this week. Hope they don't, but I'm pretty confident that they will. And we'll see. They have so many turnover issues and O-line issues, but I do think they are able to win this one. Moving on, we have the Raiders. Ooh, they are horrible. Going up against the Chargers. Chargers should just win this one. They're playing at home, but that just doesn't really matter here. They should just handle business. There's not much to say about this one. This is a very lopsided matchup. Chargers take this one and add another W to the win column for themselves. Then we have Sunday Night Football. We have the Broncos at the Commanders. Now, when they made this schedule, they definitely thought we were going to have Bo Nix versus Jaden Daniels, but completely different looking matchup now. Broncos are very dominant and looking to win their division. Meanwhile, the Commanders are pretty much just going to have to try to rebuild the rest of their team next year and get everybody healthy. So Broncos should win this one no problem and continue their fight for the divisional win. And they're trying to win the AFC as well, but right now they're just a little behind the Patriots. And then speaking of the Patriots, we have Monday Night Football. Yeah, the Giants at the Patriots. Listen, you guys know I do not have kind thoughts about the Giants, all right? It's a very sore subject, so there's nothing that would make me happier than beating the Giants on Monday Night Football. They're already down, so might as well kick them while they're down. Isn't that what people say? Kick them while they're down? Hopefully we do that. Giants had a crazy game against the Lions last week. It was fun to watch. It's fun to watch Jameis Winston. I'm not really sure who's going to be starting on Monday. I don't really care. I know the Patriots can and will win this game. Even with Will Campbell being out, at least he's going to be back for the playoffs, most likely. Fingers crossed. And thankfully, he did not suffer a season-ending ACL tear or anything like that. I think that's what I'm thankful for this year is the fact that Will Campbell did not tear his ACL. And for Drake May, of course. So, Patriots should win this one at home. We're in the throwbacks. We have to avenge our unpleasant history against the Giants. So this is going to help just a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. And it'll be nice because after we win this game, we will have our bye week the following week. And we'll be sitting up top the AFC heading into week 15. So that'll be really nice. So Patriots, we just need to get the job done one more time. Take a bye week, and then we can continue our quest for the number 1 seed in the AFC and our first divisional win since too long ago. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and we'll see you next time.